no one makes magic in business like Disney. Join us as we hear from Disney cast members, influencers, and enthusiasts to uncover the secrets of what it takes behind the scenes to make Disney such a successful and well loved brand. We will hear their journeys, inspirations, and have some good old fashioned Disney fun along the way. So relax, pull up a chair, be our guest, and let's get down to bibbity bobbity business. In 2021, collectible items and products became all the rage. From pulling a valued Pokémon card and reselling for a profit to purchasing a one-of-a-kind piece of art in the form of NFT, customers have entered a new era of buying. Ever since this boom, brands have been heavily focused on strategizing ways to capitalize on this concept of products becoming collectibles and creating followings. And as a Disney lover, if you are one, you have most likely already divulged in the guilty and yet thrilling pleasure of collecting. And you know better than anyone how pin trading and collecting are more than just a hobby. It's a lifestyle, but there is one brand that has already become wildly successful using these types of marketing to sell their accessories and clothing. If you've ever walked into a Disney park or popped into a Hot Topic, you probably have seen their gorgeous backpacks and accessories in a gift shop or two. Loungefly's geeky backpacks are big business for the leading pop culture lifestyle brand, Funko. Popularly known for its innovative and artistic licensed products, including Walt Disney, Star Wars, Care Bears, Hello Kitty, E.T., and so much more. That's why I am super excited to welcome our next guest, the innovation and brains behind the brand, Loungefly's Vice President of Creative, Liz Desilva. Hello, Liz. Welcome to Bippity Boppity Business. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for coming on the show today. I'm really excited to talk to you about everything that you do at Loungefly, your background, and all things Disney too. I must say, though, it does take really significant talent and business savvy to turn selling premium backpacks, wallets, and purses into the booming business that Loungefly has become, especially with the products going to expand to things like pins and size-inclusive apparel, all just while being super innovative and creating that following. We want to talk a little bit about that today, how when a product becomes more than just a purchase and turns into a collectible, it kind of shows that the brand is doing something probably right. So before we get into any of that, though, I want to talk to you as Liz. I'm curious to know, were you always designing accessories and bags?
I was not. I started in the industry after I graduated from art school. I went to Otis College in LA. I got my BA in graphic design and illustration, and I actually thought back then that I was going to graduate and illustrate children's books. So obviously growing up with Disney and being a huge Disney fan, I thought it would just be like the most amazing job. But when I graduated, obviously there's student loans to pay and all those things. And I quickly realized that becoming a children's book illustrator is not like the easiest thing. So I took a job illustrating really cute characters and doing graphic design for a girls' apparel company. And I had never really thought about going into that field, but once I got into it, I absolutely loved it. Loved it so much I went back to school. I took sewing classes, I took fashion illustration classes, business classes. I just loved the entire fashion industry and I really absorbed all of it and that's where I started, just being a graphic artist doing girls' t-shirts and dresses and cute things.
It's so cool that you started being a graphic artist and it paved the way into the industry that you are now. Do you have any advice for resources or tools that you would suggest for new creatives that are trying to really hone their craft and break out into this industry?
Yeah, I would say it's really important to have your own point of view. When we're looking to hire graphic artists, we look at tons of portfolios, myself and my creative directors, and you really want to stand out. So looking at the trends in the market and, you know, copying or fitting into something that already exists, you'll just be like another in a sea of portfolios that we look at. So I think we always gravitate towards somebody that has a unique point of view, a style of their own, and also variety, right? Not being able to just do one style, but being able to do multiple things. If you're in art school or if you're self taught, when you're building your portfolio, especially trying to get your first job, it's really important to show that you can be versatile and you can offer that company a lot of different things. If you're going the route of trying to create your own brand and you're going after your own look and feel, doing something unique, something different that you can offer the world that isn't already out there, I think is by far the most important thing. And I always throw this in there and I'll throw it in now. The way that you treat people, being kind, being an awesome coworker, being somebody that people want to work with is always important. So once you get your foot in the door somewhere, always important to be collaborative, to be kind, and to be someone that people like look forward to working with.
Absolutely, especially we're so online based these days. If you don't work well with a team, doesn't matter how talented you are, it'll be really hard to break out. I agree with you there. But speaking back to those portfolios and the art that really strikes your fancy, I'm curious to know if you have any influences from the world of art and design. Who are they?
So I definitely do. Growing up, I definitely followed all kinds of classic artists, but when I was in like elementary school, I became completely obsessed with the very colorful world of Lisa Frank. For anyone who doesn't know who Lisa Frank is, she's an amazing artist that did all things unicorns and rainbows, and she just created her own world where everything was colorful and like fantasy and puppies and gumball machines, and it's just amazing. And so for me, I definitely was a huge fan of her work growing up, and I think it definitely influenced the way I dressed, the way my house looked, my acceptance of color versus just wearing black every day, you know? So I think her whole design aesthetic really shape what I gravitated towards at a really early age, and it stuck with me. That was elementary school, but I never really went away from that. And later on in my career, I was lucky enough to get to work with her. So it was like a full circle moment for me. She's an awesome person and definitely an early influence. And then, you know, to be honest, nostalgia toys and cartoons and things have always driven such a huge part of me. Minnie Mouse, I feel like, is just the ultimate fashion icon. Uh, so,
Yeah, she really
um,
is. I love
yeah,
me some Minnie Mouse for sure.
I think we all do on some level.
It's really cool that you got to work with Lisa Frank. I remember being in kindergarten and you were like the coolest kid on the block if you had a Lisa Frank folder. And
Yep.
I can definitely see that influence in what you do and what you wear today. So that's so awesome. Speaking of that creativity there, how does the creative process work at Loungefly and how involved are you with the designs?
That's a great question. So we kind of have different facets of our business. We have our main line, which is what you see on our website, and that's a line that we sell to all different retailers. And then we also have our exclusive business, which gets people really excited. So we have exclusives that we design for different retailers. I have an amazing creative team. We're nearing 30 people now. I have two art directors and a creative director, and what they do is they help me manage the different parts of our business. Allison heads up our parks division. John works on everything Funko Pop art style. David works on Hot Topic and Box Lunch. And then I head up mainline and apparel. We all kind of work on our awesome mom and pop boutique retailers. So it's kind of divvied up that way. At the end of the day, I'm involved a little bit in every design because I love to work with the team. I love to be the last eyes before it goes out the door. Just always questioning, always like, is that the right trim color? Could we give them another option? Let's look at one more way to do this. I'm sure sometimes I drive the team crazy, but I do it because I'm really pushing to get the best product. And we have amazing talent. Our artists are by far the best in the industry. We are so busy, always like trying to hit deadlines. So I'm like the last eye on things to be like, hold on, hold on. Is this as good as we can make it? I'm always there to make sure that we're getting the right product out. And my personal role is with my partner Derek. We concept and head up all of the designs for that main line that you see, as well as all of the apparel and then guiding the designs when it's needed through all the other accounts.
The question why not when it comes to your designs is very prevalent in the work, because if you guys just stuck to the norms, you wouldn't see cool things like a little mouse in the backpack or like a clock on the front of a backpack. So that's so awesome to hear about that. Generally speaking, because of that innovation and how you guys work well as a team, it seems like just in the past few years, Loungefly has grown tremendously. There's a report published by CNBC August 2021 showing how the Loungefly branded products soared like 132%. It was just wild success. What work have you and your team accomplished at Loungefly that you feel has brought this success? And does it have anything to do with the addition of new lines or venturing into new accessories or acquisitions? Tell me about that from the business aspect.
When we joined back in the beginning of 2019, myself and Derek, Loungefly was like on its way, right? It had great brand principles, but there was some things that we definitely identified early on that we could do to help the brand grow. One being utilizing social media. So we did not really leverage our social media channels. Since 2019, we've grown significantly. So number one is getting more eyes on the awesome product that you're creating, right? So using social media to make more people aware of what we're doing and what we're putting out in the world. Two is we really focused on our own website. Our own website wasn't a huge priority in the past. We were hyper focused on our retail partners, which we still are, but we definitely carved out time to grow our own website that we can drive our fans to and do our own exclusives, which really didn't exist before. Loungefly.com didn't have its own exclusives. Also, as you said, we expanded categories. We started doing more collectible pins. We launched 2 different apparel lines, and we really expanded just even within accessories where we were getting very heavy in mini backpacks, really look to expand and get more crossbodies for people who aren't maybe a mini backpack person, expand into new silhouettes in general. And I think really push the designs. One thing we really wanted to do when we came on board is take the direction the brand was headed in and push it even further. So, you saw some great cosplay mini backpacks, but what else could we do? Could we add scents? Could we make them light up? Could we have more appliques? Could we have movable parts? What is the next level for Loungefly? And that won't ever stop. That will always continue. But I think one of the main things from a creative perspective I tried to do when I joined is push the team and say, hey, you guys have done amazing, but what else can we do and what can we offer the fans? And I think pushing that innovation constantly is what excites people. And they see things they haven't seen out in the world of accessories before. So I think that has a lot to do with what started to drive the collectability of the bags, especially during 2020 and 2021.
I think infusing that kind of wonder and innovation into the product really sets it aside from all other brands out there. Like, you've seen a bag where it has mini ears on it, great, but like something that lights up or smells good, that's amazing. I love that. And speaking of the cool collections, are there any upcoming Loungefly collections that you like, your favorites from the past?
There's so many, to be honest. One from the past that was my favorite was the princess books that we did with Stitch Up by Loungefly. I know it's a coveted bag by many. It's one of my favorites. The design, the construction of that bag is unlike anything in the market. And anyone who missed it, stay tuned because we do have some more things coming that might excite anyone who did like that bag. And then talking about current things we have going on, we started last year a Princess Castle collection, which I am a huge princess fan at heart, and creating.
Same. I got an Ariel over here. I feel you.
I love it. Being able to create an entire collection, a monthly drop focused on the princess castles and working with different artists throughout the series was a great experience. The next one we have coming out is Sleeping Beauty Castle, which was hand painted by one of our in-house artists, Jason Ratner, who is phenomenal. If anyone hasn't seen his work, he's showing at the Festival of Arts at Epcot right now. He's just one of the many talents that we have on our team that creates this beautiful artwork. So Sleeping Beauty is coming up soon and part of one of my favorite series. We also did a villain scene series. The whole concept was we wanted to do a take on the villains kind of peering into the world of the hero or the princess, and those range from lenticular bags, scenes, extra appliques, textures. It's really a phenomenal series. And outside of Disney, we have a Care Bears collection coming soon. I'm a huge, 80s toys fan. I was a big collector as a kid of Care Bears. And we have a great castle collection and maybe an exclusive or two that has not been announced yet that's coming soon. So if you're a Care Bears fan, there's a lot of exciting stuff coming there also.
That's really exciting. I'm very much looking forward to all of that. Speaking more about your daily work and operations behind the scenes at Loungefly, what are some ways that you keep your team on track with the mission and vision of the organization?
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting question, especially given the fact that my team works 100% remote now. We went from all being in an office and collaborating in person to learning how to collaborate and how to best brainstorm via Teams and the computer. So that's been challenging. What I try to do is share designs. Like I personally go into the office to do product approvals. I think it's really important for my team to see the outcome of their designs, right? Like they can't all be in the office due to COVID and just the nature of the world, but I try to, take pictures when I'm getting excited, share them with them so they can get excited because there's no better feeling than working with someone on a design and then seeing their design come to life and it just be so beautiful. And most times better than, we even expected when we're looking at it in a 2D form and then seeing it to come to life in a 3D form. So one, I think just keeping the team in the loop and keeping them informed. We try to, share selling info so they know what's doing well. And also we have fans of just about everything on our team. And I really try to assign projects to people that I know like this is something that's going to resonate with them, challenge them and excite them to work on. So, if I know someone is a huge fan of Coraline or I know someone's a huge fan of Universal Monsters, trying to like move projects around so that people get to express their love of those fandoms into the bags because at the end of the day that makes the bags so much better. People are more excited to work about on their projects and the fans feel that authentic love that went into those bags. So that's what I try to do. We also we try to do some team events and things. We have a outing. We are all going to Disneyland soon to,
Oh,
hang out
fun!
together to see our stuff out in the wild. It's important. I encourage my team to go to art shows and events where they can find inspiration. A lot of us went to Designer Con. So it's just important to have people out seeing things so they stay inspired and they're working on things that inspire them.
Absolutely. That research and seeing everything out in the wild just makes it feel so real and satisfying. And it's part sign of being a really good leader to encourage everyone to work on things that they love. But generally speaking, what has been one of your biggest challenges as a leader?
Well, recently, probably the most unexpected and toughest challenge was the pandemic. We went from, being in office and being a pretty large team to being cut down at one point in the pandemic to a skeleton crew. Like every other company went through temporary furloughs and things due to essentially a halt in business. So that was definitely a challenge trying to figure out how to keep business going with a small team, keeping the people that were still there motivated because they were taking on more than ever, trying to reassure people that weren't with us, that we were working hard to get them back. So that was definitely a challenge. I don't think any of us have ever gone through something like that as leaders. Everybody did really what they could, and the brand ended up seeing, like you said, significant growth. And now we're back full force and even bigger. So in the end it worked out, but that was definitely a challenge and continues to be the challenge of this kind of interesting new world we live in and how to keep people motivated. The bright side of the pandemic that we realize that we can work remotely and that opens us up to having amazing talent that doesn't live in LA or Burbank area. So, we're kind of just navigating and figuring out the best way to have the best talent around the world and keep Loungefly at the top of our game.
It's a testament to the teamwork and passion at the company that it has gone through and is still going through the challenge and still doing really well. And that's the reality of business. It's not always rainbows and butterflies. So, when you want to launch a new creative campaign, what goes into the concept and initial design of that? Like, what does that process look like?
So there's couple different steps. First, when we're deciding like what are we going to design into, that comes from a lot of different things. It comes from learnings from previous years, selling information. It comes from fan feedback from social media. So anyone who's ever commented on our pages or sent me a message on Instagram, all of that matters, right? We're always paying attention. If enough people ask for something, then there's something there and there's a reason to design. So there's the whole first part of what do we need to design into? And then once we decide, there's a ton of research, everything from current trends to silhouettes to innovation. We rewatch clips a million times. We just worked on a Cinderella collection, and I rewatched the scene of the mice trying to get the beads back to everyone so they could get the outfit for Cinderella. I watched it probably 20 times trying to figure out how are we going to best translate this into a collection. And so I think it's making sure that you're catching all of those little details, because the little details are what makes Loungefly the brand that they are. We don't typically work straight from style guides that are provided by our partners. We do a lot of hand drawing. I would say over 50% of our designs at this point are hand drawn in-house. We create our own assets. So what that allows us to do is pick any aspect of the story that we want to convey, and we just create it. So we all rewatch scenes, movies, and it's really just about paying attention to that feedback and making sure that we're creating product that's wanted out there.
That's so important. If it's not something that people want, like, why make it? Obviously,
Exactly.
to do all of that. Okay, fun question. If I gave you a magical crystal ball, where would you see yourself and the brand going in 5 years? Any tinkering into the metaverse or digital fashion, or what's your imagination for that?
Well, we are part of Funko, so big plans for the future are very top secret. But I will tell you that I definitely see Loungefly becoming more of a lifestyle brand. I see Loungefly going into more categories, expanding, and being able to offer you more products just in your day-to-day life that fit that Loungefly brand DNA. I can't tease too much, but just more products that have that storytelling and those details that people have come to love about Loungefly.
Well, whatever it is, we know it's going to be good. So I'm excited for it. Okay, so Liz, we're going to shift gears a little bit and lighten the mood for a super fast, rapid fire Disney question segment.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep, ready.
Come on, everybody. Here we go! Off to Question Land.
This is going to be a hard question, or maybe it's going to be easy. Who is your favorite Disney princess and why?
Oh, very easy. So I'm a Cinderella and Snow White fan, and I would always put Cinderella first because I think she was my first princess that I remember as a child. And I think I've always gravitated towards the magic of her story, the happy ending, her just amazing transformation of her fairy godmother turning her rags into this beautiful gown. So I think the fashion of her story, I have been obsessed with her pink dress. I'm a pink dress fan before a blue dress fan.
Can you make me that pink dress, please? That's what I want. It's my dream.
I have definitely always been team pink dress, and she has by far been my favorite. In all these cases over here, I have an extensive Cinderella collection, followed closely by Snow White, but Cinderella is definitely number one in my heart.
Cinderella number one. I love it. Okay. So if you had the chance to help design a brand new Disney character, what persona would you choose? Villain, royal, sidekick, superhero?
Oh, because of my love of fashion, I would definitely go royal, because I would just love to create an entire wardrobe. Like, just thinking about like Ariel and all of her different looks throughout the movie, like my dream would just be to get the story and then create all of the looks throughout that person's story. So 100% royalty, no question. I love a sidekick, but if anyone knows me, I'm definitely more princess than villain. So
Liz has main character vibes. That's what she's. We're not here for the sidekick. We're here for the whole bougie, fancy wardrobe, frills and all, and I'm here for it. Okay, so let's reminisce for a moment here. There's been a lot of live actions made with Disney, but what Disney villain do you feel like deserves a live action story?
Also an easy question, Lady Tremaine and the stepsisters. They never get enough love. We just recently did one of our first like collections featuring them for Loungefly, and I was so excited because I just feel like in the villain world, they're like the stepsisters, like they're the stepkid. They never get as much love as everyone else. And Lady Tremaine, like she's truly evil. She's a great villain. And like the three of them together, they 100% like who hurt them? Something happened to them to make
Who hurt
Yes,
them?
something happened there, and I think out of anyone, they deserve the next backstory.
I completely agree. Like in any movie that they made, they really don't get enough love. It's just kind of a quick like, and he married again, and there's Cinderella, and it's like, but wait, what happened though? Okay, so what is your dream Disney park activity? But by that, what I mean is, for me, I have a dream of seeing inside the Cinderella suite at Magic Kingdom in the castle. So, what's your dream?
Honestly, I am lucky enough that in this crazy career that I have, I've gotten to do a lot of great things at the parks and Disney, things that I would never as a kid thought I would get to do. So I feel like I've been very lucky already and gotten to do most of things that I would want to, but I think it would be really amazing. We have this Disney day coming up with our team. I think it'd be amazing if we could somehow one day have the whole park to ourselves and have just like our Loungefly team and our retail partners, and we would have like an inspiration day in the park, and everyone would just be able to run around, jump on rides, no lines, all the snacks they want, and just have like an amazing Loungefly and Loungefly partners inspiration day in the park. That would be like my dream.
That would be my dream too, but I would like to add that everyone has to be in character the whole time. I want to be immersed in the world and pretend that I'm not in the real world.
I love that idea.
Cool. That's awesome. Okay, Liz, this has been so much fun, and I am so happy that you came on to talk about the great things that not only you've done in your career, but the work that Loungefly is doing. And what I'm hearing is, if we are a fan of what the brand has to offer now, like hold on, there's even more amazing things to come. That pretty much wraps it up for our episode today. But if listeners want to connect with you or follow what Loungefly is up to, how can they do that?
So we are all over social media. Loungefly is on Instagram. We have a new-ish but amazing TikTok channel. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. And if you go to loungefly.com, you can sign up for our emails so that you are informed on all the newest things. And you can sign up for notify me when new bags are coming out. Also, Stitched Up by Loungefly is on Instagram for information about our latest apparel drops, which we have some new things coming very soon. So yeah, I think that covers all of them. We're all over social. You should follow us everywhere so you don't miss any of the new drops or cuteness that we have coming.
Absolutely. Everybody, get you some cute stuff. All right. Thanks so much, Liz. Thanks for tuning in, and have a magical day.
Bye.